Good morning. Good morning. How are you? It's so nice for you to join me today. Good morning. How are you? It's so nice for you to join me today. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Justria, and today you guys on my channel, I will be talking about the time I bake racked myself. What was it like? How was it in there? Everything else. I'm not going to put the facility that I was in because honestly, it's like don't know. It just is like. But you guys, so before I even go any further, how you doing? What's up? What's up? What's up with you, shorty? What's up? What's up with you? But if you're new here, hi, how are you doing? If you've been here, what's poppin', shorty? What's good? I know, you've missed me like I've missed you. um, so you guys on my channel, I don't know if I've said it before, but shout out to King of Reeds for doing this in his videos, but he does a mental check-in before he starts his video off. And how I'm feeling is very accomplished, very proud of myself, very statuesque. You know, I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my... Alright, so you guys, yeah, let's get into the video. So you guys, I bake racked myself. And for those of you who don't know what a bake rack is, it's where you can voluntarily or involuntarily put yourself in a mental institution, and the minimum they're allowed to keep you there is for 3 days. Some people stay there for weeks at a time, depending on the severity. Some people stay there for 8 days. It just depends on how you are and if you get better. But before you why would you bake rack yourself? Like, sis, like, why would you put yourself in a mental institution? I did not do it for experimental sake. I did it because honestly, I was having nightmares. I was becoming really suicidal, you guys. Like, I was at my job. I was like, I should jump off this bitch. And I was like really like out of it. Honestly, like I was just like, and I really wasn't handling and dealing with all the stressors and shit that was coming along. So I'm gonna talk about my experience, what I experienced, and what happened in there that kind of made me be like, I don't want to come back here again. Honestly, when you first get in, it's very scary. They make you take off your wig, your nails, everything. Like, if you have, like, honestly, so when I went there, I got big corrected from my job, and when I went there, when I went there for my job, it was supposed to be voluntarily. But if the police come and bring you there, then it becomes involuntarily, and you have to stay there for 3 days. Just like you normally would if you voluntarily baker at yourself or whatever. I found out that some people actually baker at themselves when they can't get the medication that they need. So they'll voluntarily baker at themselves or whatever by like saying like, oh, like just saying whatever just to get like their basic needs and like medications that they take. And they'll play crazy for like a couple of days, so until like they get regulated, until they can like be a-okay, and then they'll voluntarily leave. So I volunteered myself because I was at work and I was having an anxiety attack, and this time my body was starting to shut down again, and I was like, I'm not feeling okay, honestly. And I was like, fuck it, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna maneuver? Like, how does it feel? Like, and I was just really trying to like get over it, and I couldn't work properly because in the back of my mind, I kept on seeing myself almost dying. And I know people be like, oh my gosh, like you should let go of it or whatever. But I just kept on seeing myself like dying, like every time, like, and I just was like, I should go back there where the robots and just bang my head against the robots, or just stand in the middle with no sensor on and let it like hit me and run me over. The robots strong. I don't know if I can tell you that, but the robots strong. Then moving, and then I guess I wasn't like really in the. So I went down there and I kind of like talked with them and everything else. And after talking to them, they offered me to voluntarily bake wrap myself. So I was gonna go regardless. So if you go there without the police, you're voluntarily and can leave at any given point in time when you feel comfortable. But if the police take you, it automatically turns involuntarily, even if you volunteer yourself to go. Yeah, and somebody can Baker Act you if they feel the need to. Like, if you go out there and you find out that somebody you don't like okay, so like if say, because so before, because my best friend wanted to Baker at me before or whatever, and I'd lie. I was like, oh, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And a person can actually Baker Act you, and they will come get you. It's not nice. And I know a lot of people are like, but why would somebody like no, like they really genuinely care about you, and it takes a lot to want to Baker Act somebody, like honestly. So moving forward, yeah, that's how I got there. When I first got there, they checked everything. They checked my bag, my purse. Um, they put everything in like these big brown bags. They made me take off my wig. I didn't have on any nails, thankfully. But if you have anything like nails and stuff, they'll make you take those off. Like you really have to be barefaced, y'all. I looked like my natural self without with extra dry hair, which I mean I was still fine, but baby, I've been fine, but dry hair is not cute. I don't care what nobody says. And when you first get, they gonna be like, they asked me if I want to keep my wig on, and I was just like, nah, just put it in the bag. It's already off, and because I already know it's gonna take me forever. So the first night I got there at nighttime, so it was time to sleep. They give you these, you sleep on these beds, and the beds are not the most comfortable thing, but they watch you sleep. And when you wake up the next day, they give you a toothbrush. They check your blood pressure. They take your blood tests and vitals and everything else. They make you pee in the cup, so they're gonna drug test you. They're gonna test you for STDs and stuff of that nature. So, yeah, really nice. Then moving forward from there, after they test you for STDs, drugs, drug use, and all that other stuff, then you have to follow a schedule. And the schedule literally goes by, you wake up at either 6:30 or 7:30, depending on your nurses. We were supposed to be waking up at 6:30. Yeah. I had shitty nurses. Honestly. They didn't wake us up until 7:30 because they're lazy fucks. But the schedule's supposed to go 6:30 to 7:15 is breakfast. After 7:15 the breakfast, it is grouped from 7:15 to 8 a.m. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. you get like free time, right? Free time. And then from 4 to from 4 to 7, there's like a lot of group activities that go on and evaluations. And then from 4 to 7, then at 7 to 8 you get visitation. Then from 8 to 9 is dinner. No, I'm lying. From 4 to 6 it's like group, and then 5, they fucked up the whole schedule. But from 5 to 6 is dinner. Then from 6 to 7 is free time. And then if you have visitors, from 7 to 8 is that time. And then from 8 to then you sleep. You shower at 10 a.m. every morning. Yeah. And at nighttime, they watch you sleep. Honestly, when I first got there, I was crying. I was in tears. I was like, why would I do this to myself or whatever? They take your phone, they turn it off or whatever, but they do have a phone in it that you can use. It reminded me of like when I was back in high school and it was like press number 9 before you like dial out. I'm not gonna lie, I only called 2 people when I was in there. It was my 2 best friends, Amali and Devon. I called Amali because Amali's a social worker and and I was really like in tears at that moment. And when I called her, when I first called her, she was like, you're gonna make it. Gonna be okay, sis. And you got this. And when she said that, like, it kind of did something to me. And she was like, the Drea that I know is gonna make it out of this. And when she said that, it, like, kind of made me happy because I was like, she believes in me. Like, she knows, like, that. And then she made me feel safe about my decision because at first I was starting to regret it. And she was like, you did what was best for you, and I'm proud of you. and moving forward, I need you to do yada, 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 blah, 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 and be strong. And she was like, take the medicine if they offer it to you. We're going to talk about medicine. But later on in the video, though. And honestly, it felt really good to know. And I kind of cried. Like I said, I cried the whole first night. And I cried the whole morning. The first day, like the first morning that I was there, I cried a lot. It's not funny, but like I really cried. And we had group. And when after breakfast or whatever, they wanted me to eat. But I don't eat. I only eat between 12 and 6. So I was like, I'm not really finna eat this, and I don't do like dairy like that. So I was just like, that's just not gonna work out for me. So I didn't eat breakfast like that. All I had was like water. And yeah, that was it. And they were like watching me, and they were like writing down stuff of what I was doing and how I was reacting. And then we went to group. On the first day of going to group, it kind of was like, I didn't want to participate, but I was like, she was like, I was like, here. And it was like, what's wrong? I was like, I'm scared because it was my first time being here and da 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 da. And I was just very, very scared. And then they were like, oh, we're going to make sure you're okay, da 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 da, woody woody whoop. And then this is how I realized that they were checking how we were sleeping and how we were eating. They said, how's your appetite and how is this? And is your appetite, like, they were asking me questions like, do you normally sleep at night? Like, how is this? And the questions like that. So the nurses, they look over you at all times. Like, you're being constantly watched, like, on surveillance. Literally, like, the people in there are looking at everything. After that, somebody had came in the night, I guess the night after me or whatever, like later on the night, and then I ended up making a friend. Her name is Elizabeth. Really sweet girl. I love Elizabeth, you guys. I really do. Like, cause like she kind of helped me while I was in there. Like, my best friend was at work for most of the part and at her internship and doing her job, and so was my other best friend. But it was like, when you're in there, you have to see who you connect with. And I connected with Liz. And when I connected with Liz, like, she was like, it's okay, gonna be all right. And she, like, kind of told me, like, how she had one at 23, the same age that I had mine. Like, because my birthday was 8 days ago, like, passed. And she's like, oh, well, you know, la medicina, da-da-da. She was telling me, like, how to maneuver in there. So I guess because I made friends with Liz, that the two Liz's, it's two Liz's, the white girl is and Spanish girl is. And the Spanish girl is, and I guess because I, like, kind of connected with her and, like, we kind of did it. So going on, like, she made my day go by, like, a lot faster. The second day was Liz's last day. The second day that I was, like, there, like, actively there, that would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That Thursday, it was Liz's last day, but Liz had been there for 5 days. And Liz was telling me, like, how the medication was doing this and doing everything else. And then she was, like, telling me how it was supposed to be everything. How if you take the medicine, you'll get out of here faster and everything else. I just refused to take the medicine. But, like, the doctor kept on trying to make me take the medicine. On the first day, they had asked me questions about, like, why would I bake rack myself? And I told them why, and I went down a whole list of everything. And the second day, they brought in a therapist, a doctor, and a social worker. And they all sat around the table, and we talked. And they asked me things from my childhood to my adulthood. And in some of the notes that I've seen, they said I had depression for forever. And I kind of knew, like, I had depression, like, in my later adult years, in my childhood, that didn't get resolved. And I know that sounds crazy, but when they read it on the paper, like, it felt really, like, it felt like a safe space. Because I was away from the whole entire world. I was able to talk about how I felt. And then we talked about the latest incident, and I, like, kind of pushed me to bake rack myself. And then after that, it was just like, I kind of started seeing some shit on the second day that kind of had me scared, but I couldn't show that I was scared or afraid, because when you show that you're, like, afraid or scared of some shit in there, like, they'll try to drug you up so that you feel better. To try to make you feel better or make you sleep through it so you don't hear and see a lot of shit. It was probably me and another black person in there, but it was mostly Hispanics and white people in there. And the Hispanics have like this, I don't want to call it racism, but racism when it comes down to people of color who weren't either white or Hispanic. They were treating like me and the other black girl like we weren't shit. And when they seen that Liz took a liking to me and the nurse took a liking to me, they treated me a lot better. But it was this Haitian woman in there. I think her name was Ellie. And they were treating her like shit. Like, Ellie couldn't walk. Ellie was having heart problems, everything else. And Ellie was screaming like, somebody, nurse, help, help, help. And Ellie had been in there for like 5 days already. But Ellie was been supposed to leave there because they had put her on involuntary leave. But they put her put her on voluntary leave. And voluntarily leave, but the only thing is her son had to come pick her up because she didn't have a ride and she didn't like have anything or no way to get home. So her son had to go pick her up. So Ellie, they ended up putting her back on involuntary leave because her son didn't pick Ellie up. And Ellie's son did not pick her up because Ellie had to call the police on her son because her son was wrong. So her son was being nasty and kept her in there. So she was in there for like almost a whole entire week. So Ellie was starting to go crazy for real. And they kept on drugging Ellie up. And the drugs were not helping. Speaking, I want to do a quick side note on the drugs. So some of the drugs that they were giving out or whatever had people seizuring up, sleeping all day, tired, fatigued. And then when they were trying to offer me the medicine, I was like, okay, like, I'll go see what it is. Because they said that I had a unspecified personality disorder and unspecified mood disorder, episodic mood disorder. And, they kind of sat there and they were like, okay, well, we want to put you on this medication to stabilize your mood and everything else and help with your depression. And I was like, what are some of the side effects? And they were like, they were reluctant. And I was like, let me see the paper. And when I read off the paper, it was just like infertility, face numbness, heart attack. And I was like, no, like if it takes all of that, like if this one pill is going to do this but it's going to give me liver and all this other shit and all these problems with infertility and everything else, I don't want to be on the medicine. Like no tengo la medicina. Oh, and speaking of, you have to like speak Spanish with the nurses if you go to like a Spanish thingy, because if not, they're going to treat you totally different. And when they treat you totally different from everybody else, it's really ridiculous. And it was certain people who had been in there for like 8 days. Like it was David. His name I think is David. David had been there for 9 days, right? He had been there from last Wednesday to like the following Friday. And he has like bipolar depression. And they would not release David. And David was like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And they kept on drugging him and giving him the wrong medication. So David was like sickly and everything in there. Like if I could show you, like I really wish I could show y'all how zombie looking people was looking in there. They look so zombie-esque. Like they looked dead. They were like, and then like they couldn't even stay up. And then the second day, so going back, so the second day, I started to play games. I started to interact with other people. I started to even just like, I ended up being very motivational in there. And I guess like, and it really scared me because it was Liz's last day. Liz's last day. And Liz was like, I'm leaving today. And I don't know why, but I felt very welcome to my TED Talk-esque because I was sitting down and I was just talking to Liz, and I said, Liz, this is not a place that you want to be. You don't like it here. I don't like it here. I'm waiting for you to go. We ready to go all together. And we're just talking. And I guess, like, after the first day, I was like, somewhat motivational to people, but I didn't notice it until the second day because when I would speak, people would swarm around me and listen to the stuff that I had to go say. And I said, I refuse to bring my black ass back here unless I have to bring my ass back here. And we just had like these talks and these conversations about how we weren't gonna come back unless we honestly had to, and we couldn't just take it no more because, and I said, I don't want to ever get this sad or depressed again where I have to back myself and put myself in a in a situation like this again, and I said we have too much life out there. It's too much shit going on. If somebody can't love to learn, to can't love to just what you call it to love you, then they have to go. And then even in group, like when I spoke, people talk. It's like I had like this commanding effect. Like even when I wasn't okay in group or whatever, apparently my struggle was like related to other people's struggle, but I had it worse than everybody else. And you would think like, oh, I'm the youngest one in there, like this 23-year-old compared to these 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds and 60, because it's like a different array of ages up in there. And it was just sitting there listening to the stuff that I had to say. And it's like I had like a respect factor in there. And it was like I ended up helping the dude who was in there for like 8-9 days. I was like, okay, let's talk about it. Like, bruh, like this is what you have to do. And when you get out of here, like moving forward, like, and it was just like people were flocking to me and they wanted my energy. And it was like, I don't know why, but like they wanted my energy and they wanted everything. I honestly could have left on the second day, but it's mandatory by the law that they have to keep me in there for 3 days. So when Liz left, I was like, okay, whatever. And I ain't gonna lie, it kind of hurt my heart because I actually like Spanish Liz. Spanish Liz is nice. But moving forward, on my last day, I was doing really good. We were in group. We were talking about coping mechanisms and stuff like that. And then they tried to put me in an alcohol and drug substance program, but I didn't qualify because, whatever. And they told me like I should just go like to an AA meeting and stuff like that to go get my alcoholism down or whatever. I don't think I'm an alcoholic though, like honestly. But they told me I should go to an AA meeting for something totally different because about 2 years ago when some shit happened or whatever, it was like, okay, cool. And I was drunk really heavily. So they want me to go to an AA meeting, so they want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. But she said it's up to me. Sitting there, coming back around, spinning around the block, it was my last day to be there. I had to go talk to people in order to get out. They were supposed to come the other day, but they didn't. Well, what can you expect from people? When I was in there, I found out that, my stuff was being packed. And they had to go tell them like it was against the law, so they had to evict me 30 days. I ended up talking to my doctor and my therapist. And talking to the doctor and therapist, they were like, okay, whatever. I told them how everybody was. My best friend told them how they was. Therapist saw it for himself, and he was just like, if I was you, I would let bygones be bygones. I know that it hurts or whatever, but you have to leave them. He was like, you made so much progress. He was like, you've like literally left your imprint in this place. You've been very motivational. You've been very, everything. And he was like, you have a really good head on your shoulders. And he was like, you just needed this mental break. And he was like, I know I can't get you to get on medicine because you're opposed to taking medications and stuff like that. But he was like, if you ever want medications, you can always come back here. I was like, he was like, no, just come back here and go request for the medications that we wanted you to take here or whatever. And I was like, I am not bringing my, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm not bringing my black ass here. But honestly, it helped me like take a break from the world and fix what needed to be fixed. And when I got out, like the shit got worse in a sense, and like the stress got like 10 times higher because just a lot of shit happened. Like my job started playing with me. The apartments that I was looking at started playing with me. And like the bullshit just kept on stacking. But being in there, and I was like, I refuse to get that sad to where I have to go back right myself again, or I'm not okay, or I'm not physically, mentally right. And I said, I don't want to do that again because I don't want to have my blood taken again and be tested and be on a whole clock schedule or whatever. Like they tell you when to shower, they tell you when to eat, they tell you when to sleep, they tell you when you can shit, they tell you when to move, they tell you when you can't move. You have to like literally ask for them to open up doors or whatever. They heavily use drugging people up in there who were like really, I'm not gonna lie, certain people needed it because it was this one lady, she was really, really violent, and hard to deal with, and she wouldn't listen. And I know that sounds crazy when I say it, but like she was really, really violent. Like she was threatening to beat people up. She was like, "Oh, you puta da 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 da," like just going off and like banging on doors, throwing shit everywhere. So they had to like drug her up. I don't really think, I feel like solitary confinement would have worked better, but they drugged her up, and then when she came back out, like she was just like really, really calm. So I guess like that helped in a sense. But she had a mini heart attack, and they had to go take her back out, and they had to bring her back. Um and they like lowered her dosage or whatever, but she still was like having face numbness and stuff like that, and they weren't letting her go. Then they came, and then what happened? They released, no, like after the thing they were supposed to release me, but they didn't, and they left me like they and the doctor was like, "Yes, she's supposed to be released." And then when they released me, like they gave me back my wig, they gave me back like a bunch of stuff. And honestly, I can say that my experience being Baker acted in the Hispanic Baker Act, where they were like racially profiling or whatever, it was good, and it was like, man, at the same time, honestly, they really try to push medication and drugs on you for you to go take it. And the thing is with that, it's like they have a lot of side effects like numbness of the face and heart attacks and stuff like that. They're not going to tell you that those are the possible things, but when you're in there and you see those people trip out on drugs or the drugs that they give them, or if you see people walking around like a zombie, you're going to feel like, I don't really think I want to take the medication, because you're going to sit there and you're like, I'm not trying to be looking like the motherfucking Walking Dead in this bitch. And that's honest. Like, that's how you're honestly gonna feel. And then if we're going from there, Walking Dead, what is that shit called? Can't think of the word right now. The medicine, they're gonna try to get you to take that. I said already. You have to get in friendly and good with the staff when you first get there, because if not, like some of the staff members won't take a liking to you, and they show their favoritism. I'm kind of glad I was some of the Spanish women's favorite, especially with me trying to learn Espanol, the little bit that I did learn, like el baño, por favor, uber, pasar, comida, ahora, aquí, le remote, no medicino, no tengo la medicina, no tomanta la medicina, like just stuff like little words. Oh, and if you don't want to take medication, they're gonna try to scare you by going to the supervisor and she's gonna try like to threaten you with, oh, I can leave you here for extra amount of days depending on how you but honestly, the people who actually show improve and like actually have like the positive attitude and that aren't faking it, because they will watch you sleep. Like honestly, not gonna lie, the first night I cried, the second night I slept peacefully, even though I was like low-key scared how they were treating like one lady, because she kept on hollering, like the other black lady in there who was screaming and yelling and everything else, like, nurse, I need help. And they had to like lift her out of there or whatever to go take her to the hospital. And then it was just really like tough, because I seen them turn somebody voluntarily leave to involuntarily leave, and that shit scared me, because I'm like, if you gon' like, and they had people in there who had been in there for 8 days and could not leave, because according to law, they had to say so to say, like, this, that, and third. And you would, like, have to keep a positive, attitude. Honestly, it helped me, because when I was in group working with the social worker, my therapist, and the person that, like, the people who they assign to you, like, you actually feel better if you utilize and take everything else. Because it was people in there who had been in there for days and days and days who refused to participate in group. And if they can't see your progress or monitor your progress, then you can't leave. So I say it's best to participate in group and actually go forward with a lot of things, instead of sitting there and saying, oh, I'm not finna go do this, I'm just finna know. Because they look to actually help you. But if you like drugged out and can't do nothing, they get whatever. But I don't want to go there, because that's a whole nother shit. Honestly though, speaking truthfully, I'm glad I Baker acted myself. I was scared at times when I was in there because I seen some of the foul shit that was going on. But I feel like I had favor. And like yeah, I had favor because the nurses took a liking to me. Um my doctors were really good with me. They didn't make me force me to take any medication, even though they like kept on like trying to push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. I was able to get out. I was able to be an inspiration to people in there, even at my lowest point or whatever. It kind of made me realize the value and the importance of life and how much I love life and how much I love me. And it kind of showed me that I'm actually a lot stronger than what I think I am because well, after I was talking to my therapist, like he had like pages and pages and pages of notes on me. He was like the doctor and the therapist and the social worker, they were like, you're really, really strong. And he was like, sometimes you can't be strong all the time. And he was like, honestly, he was like, you should have been Baker acted and all this other stuff. And he would, and it just kind of made like lit a fire underneath me to like live life and enjoy life and really love the things and control what I can control. I learned new coping mechanisms. I learned how to deal. I learned how to, everything else just by using their services. Um, they even offered to help me like if I was like really, really bad, like on what you call it, but I'm not. So it kind of made me feel good. What else? But it just showed me like I don't know, but it was really good for me to correct myself. Honestly, since I'm more of like a carefree, spontaneous person, I did have a problem with like following like I'm not going to sit here and like I had a problem following protocol because it's the same thing every day, same thing every day, same thing every day, same thing every day. Like it almost was about to drive me insane. Like if I had to do it another day, I probably would have went insane. Like here we go again, 6:30. Come check my blood pressure. Let me go brush my teeth. Let me go eat. Let me go put my toothbrush in my locker. Let me go ask permission to go in my locker. Let me go shower at 10 o'clock. Oh shit, let me go, have to go wait for a towel. Let me go have to dry off and go get dressed again. Let me go to the commoners room and let me go to group and let me go talk to these people again. Like let me go after group. Let me go sit down and watch TV. Like How to Get Away with Murder. And if you watch like and let them watch my history. Let me go out there and go interact with the people and they say it's time for exercise and then time for group again. Now it's time to go eat lunch at 5 o'clock. No, dinner. Oh, we eat lunch at 3. Oh, it's time for snack. All right, you have to eat snack even if you don't eat dairy. um you have to eat something and they're gonna ask you, okay, let's go talk in a group again. Let's go talk about your eating patterns and how do you eat. What is your normal eating pattern? Let's talk about how you slept. Let's go take medicine. Let's go do this. And it's like I'm spontaneous and I don't really do like things like at my job I can do that because it's like easy or whatever and I could be in my own head or whatever and I can entertain myself. But to sit there and have to like follow rules every day, day after day after day, doing the same thing over and over, it gets mundane and boring. Honestly, it's gonna put like some order in your life, but for the most part, like if you go Baker at yourself and you actually do the groups and the group sessions and stuff like that, you'll actually end up making a lot more progress than most people think, more than everybody else. If you are a fan of medication, I suggest you take it because it did help with certain people in there. But honestly, I wouldn't know. I just couldn't do it because I seen it, the side effects. It just wasn't for me. But honestly, Baker acting yourself is one of the things that you could do for yourself if like you're really going through it mentally and you need a safe space. A safe space to be at for 3 to 5 days or however you need to be or however long they feel that you need to be there, and you can go sit there, you can go talk, walk, listen, breathe, and finally exhale. And then when you come out, you'll be feeling a lot better. Honestly, you have a new appreciation for life too, by the way. You really will. So don't ever let nobody be like, you're never gonna have a new relationship. You will, cause you're not gonna want to go back there, but you're gonna be thankful that you went, because it really does help. And the people that you meet in there sometimes really change your life for the better. I didn't know that I was changing lives until like people who had been there longer than me, like, cause after I got unscared and I started like to talk and open up and like just be myself, like allow myself to be me in there. Um, it was people in there for 3-5 days already was coming to me like, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. You really helped me. Oh my gosh. Thank you. You're so, I'm just like, girl, I am not my best right now. I'm not even fully at me right now. And then it was just like, I love you. Thank you so much for being there. And I'm just like, I was just being myself. And it really felt really good. It just did. But that's my experience back to myself and how I felt and everything else. And yeah, going there and I was scared. Leaving, I was happy. Getting out and having to deal with life gives me a new idea of where I don't want to get at again, or get so sad where I have to go put myself there again, or a new understanding how to deal with life. Like, it's some things that I wasn't doing, like using a lot of I statements and just like a lot of stuff. And it showed me like that it's okay for me not to be so strong all the time, that I don't always have to have it together. And that even though I give you stressed out or really shitty or even be in a mood like blah, that I will always be okay, and that I can be okay, and that I can actually excel and do great and be wonderful as a person, as well as actually succeeding. So yeah, that's that. I'm really proud of myself. But if you want to Baker act yourself, honestly, like, go do the research on the place before you go to a certain place and Baker act yourself, because afterwards I looked at the reviews for the Baker act place and it was like 2.5 stars out of 5. So I would say, if you're gonna Baker act yourself, go look at the institution and go see if people have to actually say who have been there, and go like just look at everything, and then go to that place and Baker act yourself. And then when you voluntarily Baker act yourself or whatever, if you can choose it, like get the one that has 4 or 5 stars, because trust me, those are better. And you'll probably get treated better. But if you Baker act yourself, you will get the help that you need, honestly. And if you need medicine, they'll give you medicine. They'll help you get back on your feet, everything. And they'll help you like deal with life so that you don't have to come back. And if you do, it'd be like, okay, we understand.